Hello everyone, this is a game I played against Abiola Akinseye. Abiola Akinseye was white and I was black at the Natuonal Friends of Chess 2026 tournament in round 1. So I played knight f6 here. This is the Petroff Defence. Now the main line is knight takes pawn, and after d6 he goes away, I capture, he plays here, I play here. This is equal. If in this position, if after this, if black plays this, white simply plays this, and if the knight goes away, there's a discover check winning the queen, right? And if this, there's simply this move, the knight goes away, you win the queen. And if he also attacks your knight, you capture. If he captures, you capture. You've won a pawn. So you can see why when white captures, black does not capture immediately, but has to play d6. And after the knight goes there, we now capture. And if white plays this, we play this. And after this, the game is equal. So I just wanted to show you some sidelines there. So now he played d3. Now this move just led to an equal position immediately. And after knight c6, defending my e-pawn, I develop my bishop. Now I have more space in this position. It's as if, though I'm playing black, it looks as if I'm white, while he playing white looks like he's playing the black side. So we now continue. I played d6. The idea was, I didn't want to castle immediately. I was considering castling queen side. So I wanted to see what he would do first. After d6, he played c3. So with c3, I knew I couldn't castle queen side because b4 is coming. You know, for example, if I develop my bishop, he has moves like this immediately. And when I move, he could play this. You know, so it's already generating a pawn storm on my queen side. So I can't go queen side because I'll be in trouble. So when he played c3, I castled now. h6. If he captures, he'll be conceding the bishop pair to me immediately. You know, and I have space advantage. I just feel I'll have a good game. So he went back. And then g5. This is a very good move. He cannot capture because I'll capture. And after he captures, he has nothing. He can't play f. After king g7, he cannot play f4, which would have been very strong, threatening to take the pawn and then bring out his rook, because my bishop is strong in that position. And he cannot play d4, blocking, because he's going to lose a pawn here. You see? So, and this is good for black, right? So he can't do that. So on account of that, he went back. And then I now went back with my bishop. The purpose of going back, because I was foreseeing a situation where he might play, let's say I just did this now. He had the potential of this move, even though the e-pawn is hanging now, but it was there, you know. And if I move my bishop, for example, he could take. And if I took, and if I capture, there's a possible queen exchange, you know. So I was trying to avoid those kind of moves. So I said, okay, let me first, even though he can't play it now, it's not really good for him because even the e-pawn is hanging, you know. And I just said, well, let me go back first. So that's why I now went back with my bishop, and then develop his knight, and then I developed my knight to the trying to get to the king side. I want to maneuver my pieces to the king side so that I can launch an attack with the pawns. So he went to c4, trying to exchange off my bishop, and I went to g6. So he took, I took. Now he has the bishop pair, but it won't last long because I have knight coming to f4, and I'm going to exchange off one of his bishops. So he now plays h4, attacking my g pawn. He wants to capture. So his threat is, if for example I try to develop maybe my bishop, he has this move, and if I take, he has this. So he has gained a pawn, and he has a better position now. So, but in playing h4 to try to attack my position, he has also weakened his position, because as you see in the game, that h file became open and I was able to use it to my advantage. You can see how his pieces are cramped on that king side. So let's watch what happens. I now played knight h5. Now he doesn't have this move because I'll capture the bishop. After he captures, I capture, I'm a piece up. So even though my knight on h5 looks weak, but he can't do anything about it. So he now captured the pawn, and then I captured back, and then he now played d4. In this position, I moved my queen away. Remember, I don't want to exchange queens because I need my queen to join in the attack. So he's now attacking my g pawn, and then my knight finally goes to f4. This was the square I was aiming for, but I just needed to prepare it. I wasn't rushing. I needed to develop my pieces. But now he first compelled me. I made the move, and then he moved his bishop away. He didn't want me to exchange off the bishop, because that was also a potential threat. So leaving me with the two bishops. So, and then I developed my king. Remember, I wanted to use the h file to attack, so the rook can go down to h8. So he develops his piece, his rook, to the open file. It's not open file, but it's going to be open if he wants. And then I develop my rook, he moves his knight, and then I bring my other knight. Now here, I was actually expecting, you can see I'm attacking the g2 pawn. Now here, there's a very difficult combination to see in this position. I was expecting him to capture my knight, this knight, not this, because after this I'll capture, and his position is really, really bad now. Really, really bad. So he didn't do that, and then I was thinking that if he had done this and I did this, he had g3. Now during the game, I saw that if he played g3, I had knight check. If the king moves away, my rook can easily move away, right? And I felt I was better in this position. But incidentally, the engine analyzes this position as equal. So I've lost my advantage as white. As black. In this position, black has lost his advantage. But this is very difficult to see. Who would imagine that this position is equal when black is going to be controlling the open file? But that's what the engine says. For example, after f3, it gives, let's say black were to play this now, white will just seize the initiative with knight g4. And look at the black knight will soon be captured. The black knight is under threat. Can you see? After rook g1, for example, if there's this. So, the game might continue. Well, black has a lot of play. White can be able to defend that position. So this is what could have happened during the game. But so what was amazing was that after G3, the computer is giving rook takes knight. This move, yes, I looked at it briefly in the game, but I wasn't too convinced. But incidentally, that's the strongest move for black here. Leads to a clear advantage. If the king takes, then we follow with this. And there's a mate threat here. If, for example, white plays this, rook check, bishop check here, no? And mates rook h1 mates is defendable. So that's a potential threat, So, and if takes, if white in this, after white takes and black plays this move, if white now takes the knight, there is g takes h4. Even though black is a whole rook down, black is winning. How is he going to stop bishop f3? The queen is coming in with check. The rook is also coming to join. If, for example, this move, there's queen check. The king moves here. Look at this. That's checkmate. Right? If, what again? If here. It's simple. We can just play queen here. What does white do here? You want to go here. There's this discover check. You go back. This rook comes to mate. So what does white do here? If f3, there's the rook check. What if we went here? Queen goes here, threatening the check on g. In fact, threatening to check and win the queen. Can you see the queen? And there's a bishop check. The game is becoming really terrible, but the queen check on g3 is more dangerous, or queen h2 check. So if how does white defend this position? Rook goes here, right? So this check. If here, check, only move, checkmate. So, and if takes, check, 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 and we win the queen. So you can see in this position, white is losing, right? So this was quite a difficult combination to see. However, and while I was still analyzing all these moves, my opponent now played the bishop back to defend the g2 pawn. So which was kind of a relief for me. I now developed my bishop, attacking the a2 pawn and bringing my bishop into the game. Of course, he now pushed, blocking off the bishop. This push was not good, in my opinion. He needed to maintain that tension in the center. Maybe play a4 first, and then he can look at, if not a4, maybe a3. And then he has the potential to later exchange off the pawn so that his queen he can play in the center. So that's what I was thinking. So when he played the d5 move attacking my bishop, I happily went back one step. And so he continued f3. I brought my queen to an active position. Now my queen can switch to the h file with real threats. And so he brought his knight, which was not a particularly good move. He should have played, but what does he play here? I played that, and then I exchanged. the knight, and after he captures, knight check here. Now there's a trick here. If he captures the knight, I will go here check, and if he moves away, I'll capture his queen. So he couldn't capture my knight because of that. He now moved his king, and then I still went there. I still went to f3, threatening the queen. Now what does he do here? If he captures, which is what he did, because like in this position, after this move, right, if he moves his queen away, where would the queen go? Let's say the queen goes here. I'll just have this discovered check, and it's a mate because there's a double check with the rook, with the knight, and the king has nowhere to go. So at this point, he's forced to take my knight, and after queen check, he couldn't play his queen to block because of this discovered check, and I'm capturing the queen. The rook is checking the king. After the king moves, I have this move, and he's down a queen. The game will be over shortly. So he blocked with the bishop, and then I captured his bishop, now threatening a discovered check with the knight and mate. His king cannot move anywhere, so he attacked my queen, and then is mating too. Check, and then mate. So this was my best game of the tournament in round 1. And if you've enjoyed the game, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.